What's happening, people? Bitcoin's had a pretty big move down since since I last did a public stream. So, changing it around a little bit, going to do video format because YouTube analytics of streams, you have to do the longest stream. And, I'm trying to keep these pretty short form. But, we're going to be covering Bitcoin here, going over the levels to watch. It's been a very tradable downtrend. There's been many longs. There's been many opportunities to short. So it's been pretty good for the traders that are among us. And yeah, let's get into the area that we came down to, why this is support, and if we are to continue the downtrend, where we're going to head to. Levels to be reclaimed is what I want to cover as well. For upside, and my thoughts on where we are, where the probabilities lie with price action. So looking at the move down that we had yesterday, I am on the daily time frame here, but you can see that the move's been pretty fucking heavy. You did get a really nice opportunity to long last Wednesday. You came up to a very interesting area that you had point of controls here. You had gold pockets here. This was the area on this large wick here on last Wednesday in order to really get into a short trade. But if you didn't, it isn't the end of the world. We are just simply range bound, and there's plenty of trades. Even yesterday, if I go to the 2 hour here, the area that we came down to, we initially got a really nice bounce from that level that Magic gave us from. He gave us this level way back in March. It's been absolutely phenomenal. When we broke above it, it was the level which he stated in the group, once we get above, good things can happen to price. And it was back tested perfectly, and obviously good things did occur. Now we've come back to that region. Now I did have a gold pocket in that area, so I was looking for this area to take a long, and I did do just that. Let me pull the gold pocket. So it's from here. I have to turn the magnet on. From here to the high, you can see that in this area, we've got that very key level, Magic's level, and a gold pocket from effectively the last significant low. Yes, now we are in that gold pocket. We have had a bounce. I'm not going to be looking at any of the other fib levels on this gold pocket. So for me, it's one that I'm going to delete from my chart. But if we go to the lower term timeframes, we can see that you had many trades, two potential trades that you could have taken here. So the initial one was when we came down in the early hours on Tuesday. If you are in the group using Twins CVD indicator, not only did you come down to the key level, but you had the indicator pop off twice in this region, and the second one being an SFP. So you could have profited, twice from this from this level, and really made a significant amount of money very quickly, because that move up was almost a percentage to the high there, and this one here is you smashed a percentage there, easily. So two trades one could have taken very quickly on Bitcoin. This is only like half an hour worth of price action. You would have made almost a percentage there, and within the next hour or two, made a further percentage. So perfect level. And with that indicator popping off, with the open interest drop you had initially into it, these are the things that you look for in these levels, and the trade was perfect. The next one that we had down, you didn't get any. This is the one that I took. This is too early in the morning for me. It's 5 a.m. A little bit too early for myself. But this one here, I actually took this long here, and we can talk about why I took it. You didn't have the indicator pop off, which was a shame, because I enjoy when that pops off, being able to take that trade, because it gives you reassurance when you have such a large drop in delta. It just shows you that you've had a really aggressive amount of selling and shorts, and you can look at the open interest and gauge from it whether it's positions opening or closing. But yeah, I took this long, very nice. And where did I trade it up to? If you put on the VWAPs, you came right back up to the daily VWAP. So really, really important level every day. If you are day trading, the VWAP's just such a great place to be taking profits. And not necessarily trading from, but it's certainly possible. But you also it was also the the gold pocket region. So you just had reasons there to be looking to take profits, and arguably looking to take a short as well. And how that day finished yesterday. Well, we came down and swept the low, and came down to a naked point of control from mid-May. Actually, came down, tapped that. Yes, a little bit more difficult, I must add, because you came down, lingered here for 15 minutes. But if you simply were trading the SFP of this region and not necessarily trading the naked point of control bounce, or trading the naked point of control bounce, but because you've got these lows here, what I like to do in positions like this is to trade the plan that the SFP gives you. Okay, and the plan that the SFP gives you is waiting for the candle closures. So as soon as you had this 5-minute candle closure here, you would have longed. Stop loss goes below the low. Okay, and you take profit at wherever you want to. VWAP has to be the initial one on that, and then you could have held that up to the weekly VWAP for sure. There hasn't really been a very nice short so far today to take, so that is a little bit frustrating somewhat, the fact that you've not had a short thus far today. But it is what it is. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come. It just means that we have to have patience. But I do want to go and look at this candle here on the order flow and just discuss this low and why. Try and be a bit educational on, even if we don't have everything popping off that we want, such as the CVD indicator, why we can still take trades in areas that we're looking to do so. This is a buy area, and when you have a huge volume spike like this, let me go over to XO and we'll go find it. Okie dokie. Find where we are. Okay, it was a New York session and it was here. Okie dokie. Yeah, so as we came into the region, you can see that we had basically throughout the whole day, when I was watching price, we were getting huge amounts of delta into the market, namely to the positive side. You can see here 48 million positive delta in this candle here, 28 million positive delta in this candle here, just becoming instantly trapped. Okay, it just huge amount of delta to push price up. Another bit at the top, that bit becomes trapped, and then all this delta, all this effort that the buyers put into the market just gets fucking lost super quickly. And it was happening time and time again for pretty much the whole of the day. This price action here, if I turn the TPO off, was incredible because you're getting crazy amounts of delta on either side. And we said in the group, whichever way this breaks, it's going to be a pretty big move because the big players are out and they're putting all the money on either side of the market, and there was just no strength really. There was no follow through. It had its opportunity here once it got above the VWAP, and then it just completely fell through, lost its arse, and came down to this region. Now, the reason that I took this long was because you can see I'm on the 1 minute here, you were getting 39, I'm going to call it 40 million negative delta there, huge stacked imbalance, negative 40 million delta there, huge amounts of selling and shorts opening up on a 0.4% increase in open interest. These are the areas and the increases in open interest that you need to be, I say these are the areas, these are the increases in open interest that should draw your eyes straight to them, because once you see a large amount of traders enter the market, this is where you can think, okay, are we continuing with that or are they becoming trapped? And this here is just a huge volume spike, a huge amount of delta, a huge amount of traders entering, and they just became trapped. Okay. Then you got 51 million positive buying there. Granted, I will admit that is not a good sign to see a huge amount of buying take place and not push the price more than $10. So you have to be cautious. But the area that I entered was actually on this candle close here, as we got some more buying imbalances and trapped this delta here. So as we flipped between the two, at that point, I'd determined we'd trapped 80 million worth of shorts. Okay. The buying here had pretty much got rid of the limit orders on the short side because they were really forcing price down. Okay, but 51 million comes in, then books are going to be pretty clean, and then you get another 33 million there. Selling imbalances to the low, finished auction on a candle. These are the type of things that you want to see in order to buy. And that candle ended very positively. So a really nice candle to buy into. And yeah, easy places to be taking profits on trades such as this. So being the VWAP, okay. But yeah, let's talk about price now, because that's enough hindsight fucking trading, because who gives a fuck about that? Okay, so the probabilities right now, if you ask me, do lie to the downside on a mid to higher term time frame, let's say. And all that means is, I think we are going to see lower prices locally. I'm still favoring that we come up and get a nice short. I really like these two areas here. Whether we come up to 65.8 or whether it's simply, let me pop on this for a second. Yeah, whether it's the day high or what was the Asia high / London high yesterday, I would quite like to come and get an SFP of these regions. Now, if we go over to Exo charts and go to the TPO, you can see that above that, it's not the Asia high, but the London high is what I'm going to call it, okay? We have got a single print. Now, with single prints, they are a very nice way of determining the strength of a trend, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, when you see single prints in a large move in price in a trend, typically they are defended, because whoever has, and I don't like talking about the boogeyman that is the the market maker type thing, but you've got to think the bigger players, once they've moved price past an area and very strongly done so, as you get with single prints, okay, coming up and testing it, you initially do reject from that region. But once you break it and get above, it's a sign of weakness for the downtrend, okay? It doesn't mean anything right now because the single print's still there and we've not tested it, but it does become a sign of weakness, okay? If we were to get above, let's call it 66,200, or it's 66,222, but that area. And in that area, we do have a gold pocket as well. So if you pull a gold pocket from Monday's high to the low that we have now, if I can clip it, please. Okay, it's around midway through that single print. So it's a little bit annoying that it's not a touch lower, but it's only $50. Okay, so cut the gold pocket some shit. But this region for me is going to be a potentially pretty nice resistance initially. And I need to turn the magnet off just to draw my box, because from that single print to that gold pocket, it's a key area that if we were to break above, I'm going to be starting to lean, somewhat bullish. It depends on how we get there. We need to have, increasing open interest, really for me to start getting uber bullish. But I don't think you can become uber bullish until you start to get above 67,000, the monthly open again, because, while we are living below, the range effectively, the range point of control, it's not a good look. So if I pop this on, you can see that we were looking for this short on Monday. We spoke about this on our members live stream. Just nice, just simple. You don't really have to think too much. It was just the early morning high, the range point of control, a nice area to take a short from, okay? And if we were to get above there, it's going to start looking better than it does now, because right now, locally it does look like shit. But for me, this is the short trade that I'm wanting to give you guys, okay? It's the gold pocket and it's the single print. And yeah, if you want to say it's an SFP of the previous day's London high, by all means, this is how I'm going to be trading this region. And that is the short for me that, I'm putting forward to you guys. Now, the local long setup that I want to look at is pretty fucking simple. So I do apologize for this. I apologize for my phone keep going off. Fucking Twitter blowing up. But yeah, it has to be this gold pocket here. The gold pocket from the low to the high locally for a day trade, I think is perfectly valid. It's on that, important region, and it will take out for sure this open interest increase that we've had here. You can see that from, early morning today to about now, we have had increasing open interest with this. Don't know whether you want to call it a local, low time frame downtrend, but I don't think the bottom is in for this little move down, personally. And I would just favor coming down, taking out all this open interest that has come in here, getting a nice open interest drop, or getting some shorts to pile in and then trapping it. Similar thing to what we had occur over here, okay? these type of things are going to be good to take a day trade, and that's all that is. It is simply a day trade, probably to the VWAP or something of the sort, because over time, I do see let me go back out to a high time frame here and hide some stuff, because the thing that we really need to discuss is basic range plays, let's call it. Anyone that knows how to trade a range, when they see let me hide a lot of stuff actually, because it's a little bit messy. I actually don't need this because I can just simply look at the range. So trading fixed ranges, okay, you're looking at the point of control and the value area high and the value area low. Now, we've come up and tested the value area high, what was that, last week or just the week before? And we then came down to the range point of control. Exact same thing that we were looking at here. Once we reclaimed the range point of control, it was to go up to the value area high. Once you came back up and down and held it, you're looking for the same thing. Now, yes, arguably, we were looking for the breakout there. Didn't get it, got an SFP. Shit happens. But then we came down to it. Arguably a nice bounce out of that region, back up to what was the current developing June point of control. And then we've come down and lost it again. Now, with the move that you had on Monday, where you came back and back tested this region, this really does put the probabilities that you are going to come down and actually test the range value area low here, which is a perfectly valid trade, if it's given the range val, because this has been pretty big support and resistance and will continue to be so while we are still in this range. However, the one thing that I am, and I know Magic has his eyes on too, is the gold pocket from the low, whichever one that is. I believe it's this one here. No, I will just pull it. Yeah, from here. If it's going to fucking do it for me, please. There we go. To the high. It comes just a touch below the range value area high, value area low, sorry. And I still think this is a decent trade. I'm not 100% in love with it, because I would just rather we came to the range val rather than drop below it. But you rarely just hold them so perfectly. You do normally get these deviations. So a little deviation, I say a little deviation, it's a $1,500, well, it's about $1,000 to the gold pocket. Yeah, it's a little deviation, but it's a perfectly valid trade, and it's good. It's got a very good likelihood that it's going to give us a good trading reaction in order to hold up price, maybe for a day or two if the how we get there doesn't look too good. But yeah, if you come down into this gold pocket and you don't see a big reaction and you consolidate in the gold pocket, typically it's not a bullish sign. So whenever you initially hit a gold pocket, you don't want to see price consolidate. You need to see a reaction in order to take the trade. But if you've taken the trade and you're not seeing a reaction that one would expect, typically the trend into the gold pocket is going to get followed through. So however we get there is going to be important to me, but I don't think it's going to happen tonight. So I think we'll be able to discuss it another day on the move down to it. Do I think the low is in? No, I just think that we can come up and get a nice short. I really would like to come up and test this single print. We have got a nice buying tail on yesterday's low. And, the low itself, if I go and look at it on the order flow, we can just have a quick look at and, discuss together what we actually think about it. If I can make this bigger. Okay, it's here. So we had decent volume, not the best volume, it must be said, for a long-term low. Typically, if you are getting 186, that's just an intraday low. You're normally looking at several hundred million of volume to be a more significant low. Okay, but a lot of delta, a lot of open interest drop. That's just a lot of people getting taken out of the market. So it's a good intraday low, but I don't think it's enough to stop the downtrend that we've been having, because it's been a pretty strong downtrend. Granted, it's not had increasing open interest, but that's to be expected when you're living below, a large amount of open interest as we are now, because all this open interest here, this, God, what is it? How much is it? Almost 25%. It's trapped above us, to be honest with you. So with that 25% trapped above us, yeah, the probabilities again lie to the downside. So however we get into this gold pocket is going to be very interesting to me to see, if that is going to be the low. And right now I'm not convinced. It depends how we get there. So, but yeah, that's it for me. Happy trading, everyone. Wish you all. Just don't panic in the downtrend. It does bring us opportunities, and if you are day trading, there's fucking so many opportunities right now because prices are moving. It's pretty volatile. Let's be honest. You can quickly make a percentage here or there. You just got to wait for the good setups. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in, and all the best.